And welcome once again as we are here on a Wednesday. And that means it's time for our Greater Las Cruces Chamber of Commerce Chamber Minute. And we've got Debbie with us today. How are you doing today,
I'm
Debbie?
good. How are you doing today?
I am excited. It's going to be a good month. I feel like, I don't know if it's the weather. It's been nice and warm, nice and sunny. I mean, I'm enjoying that.
And those winds seemingly have calmed down.
It's nice enough that it's a nice little breeze to where you're like, it's hot enough. You get that little breeze and you go, oh, that feels good.
Exactly.
And that's good.
Exactly. Chamber of Commerce weather.
Yeah, there you go. It's ribbon cutting weather.
It is ribbon cutting weather. You got it, sir.
Well, what do we got going on with the chamber this week?
Well, this is midweek, during the National Small Business Administration Small Business Week. So we're celebrating all of our small businesses here in our community, and I want to just encourage folks to say hello, go by your local businesses, and because they're the ones that are the heartbeat of America, heartbeat of Las Cruces, and they really make it all together. And we received a proclamation on Monday from the City Council regarding that. The three chambers did. And, one of the things I said was, who knew? I have been here 7 years on Monday, and who knew during that 7 years we would face that tremendous C word of COVID. But these businesses here in this community are they have tenacity, they have grit, as we said, and that, as I say in Oklahoma, that get her done attitude. So they're very important to our community.
Absolutely, and we refer to those as the dark times.
Yes,
because and it was tough. It was tough for a lot of people, but especially for our small businesses and local businesses right there, because it's hard to survive if you can't get anybody out to come out to your business.
I think what, unfortunately, some of them did not make it, and we're very sorry. And of course, we honor those who passed during that time. And it was a very dark time for our world, really, when you get thinking about it. And you think about the thousands of businesses that went out, but a lot of those actually lost loved ones during the process. So the grief of not only losing a loved one, but the grief of losing their business was tremendous. But I also saw on the flip side, during that time, people thinking, okay, how can we market? How do we get our customer? You can't get them in the door, but how do we get the sale? And so the social media, the buying online, and we think of buying online as national chains and that big A word, but these businesses really transitioned, and many of them are still going on. I mean, you still see the pickup lines of restaurants, you see the delivery from the various stores in our community. But then there was also that challenge of getting them back into the store. And so I say we've got probably one more year of that big hump of really getting back to, quote unquote, whatever our new normal is. I think businesses are more astute to emergencies. They are more astute to things that can happen catastrophically, and they're better well equipped now for a COVID-like tsunami of challenges than they were pre. So did something good come out of it? I think the good thing that came out of it, was that we appreciate our neighbors and friends a lot more. I mean, people may disagree with me because kindness is an interesting word right now. We do have some political stuff that are in there, but down underneath it all, I think what COVID brought together was families, friends and families, people who depend on each other, and that we're all in this together. We may be taking a different route, but what we want is a better community.
Absolutely, and which does not kill me makes me stronger. I think there's a lot of businesses, a lot of people that came out stronger because of our friends and our family and our community that got us through a lot of those tough times. And we did come out, I think, a little bit stronger. But now that we're out of that, and sometimes, like you said, we're better prepared, I think, to go ahead and maybe, if something like that were to happen again, fingers crossed that it doesn't happen again, at least for a few more lifetimes, I think. But the fact that we have come out on that other end, and it's the best way is to support our small businesses, to get out there and go out there. And, if you've got a little shopping, or if you're looking for a little something, to get out to our small local businesses to help support them in the same way that we all pull together during those dark times. We can pull together and make it even better when the times are good, so that we make really good times. And I don't know anybody who's opposed to a really good time.
No, not at all. I think when you said we're out of it, I think Gino, what's happening now is many of the loans and those things that happen financially are coming due. So there's still a challenge there of how to navigate this last little wave. I always say that the COVID was sort of like a tornado, and the eye of the tornado, being from Oklahoma, I know tornadoes. So the eye of the tornado was actually COVID, and the rain is still beating down on us to some degree. So to your point, making sure we still eat at our restaurants, we still shop those small businesses that have special gifts and can actually give excellent customer service and even deliver gifts and gift wrap. That is even more important, I think, in a way, because there's not the financial assistance. I know the city's got a couple of programs that are coming down the pipe for small businesses, but I think, generally speaking, it's a responsibility of the consumer out there. It's our responsibility to shop local. It takes a village to raise a business. And so we all have, that's our responsibility in this equation, is it to spend our dollars locally that rotates through the community 4 to 5 times. And that is important. And we as citizens, I think, need to accept and stand up to that responsibility of shopping locally.
Absolutely. So, in Small Business Week, which, like you said, we're right in the middle of that right there. If you get an option to go ahead and, or if you have a choice between going to a small business or something else like that, I would choose the small business to help them out, and you're going to get great service. You're going to get something that is going to be of quality, and that, I think, is always something that you could make as a choice to help out and to help out some of those businesses, because there are, like you said, there are some businesses that didn't make it, and some of those are really, really sad to go ahead and lose. But the ones that are here, we want to make sure that they stay around for quite some time with that.
And not just this week, but every week.
But every week, every day that you have those choice, everything in the future that comes along, for all of those businesses that made it through the dark times, and also for all the new businesses that are starting up and getting things going right now as well.
There was a huge amount of businesses that actually started during the dark times.
I know.
I was working with SBDC during that time, and it was amazing the amount of businesses that were actually coming online. I'm saying, are they crazy? But at that particular time, it was quiet, sort of. Many of them could have been home-based businesses or single entrepreneur, and the growth pattern could be coming up now. But there was a lot of businesses, and I think, I'm not taking away the challenges businesses are facing in getting the employees to come. The employee is different now. The employer is different, and we're still navigating these waters.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I can't stress enough our responsibility as citizens to buy and shop locally.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you speak about some of those other challenges that come along as we come out, I say that we were out of it, more like I say we can see that kind of light at the end of the tunnel, that we can get through there. But as you're navigating those changes and as these businesses come along, to go ahead and go through those, getting the help that you deserve and that you need, if you need it, is a great way to be a part of the Greater Chamber.
It is the Greater Chamber. If we don't know the answer, we can resource you through Small Business Development Center, which we are big fans of. We've even talked to them about possibly opening up hours at the chamber versus, I know it's not too far away. It's at the Workforce Center, but sometimes the time can be a challenge to businesses. West Score, there's all kinds of resources out there to help a business navigate this last. I kind of look at it like it's just the end of the rain, and the rainbow can be seen, but it's we haven't quite touched that pot at the end of the which are we ever with the challenges. But certainly one of the things we'll be doing at the chamber within the next couple of weeks is we're going to be surveying both members and non-members about what are the issues that you're facing right now. Is it taxes? Is it employees? Is it theft? Are you facing? We're working on some retail organization work in crime work with continuing with the city. So there's a lot of things we could do. The challenge is I only have a staff of 4, including me, and one of those is part-time. But we welcome volunteers. But absolutely, as I reflect on my almost 40-year career in this, the key is resourcing, and it's getting together out and learning together from best practices, because guarantee there may not be a business that's faced a COVID before, but there's a business that's faced a catastrophe. I'm reminded of one of my members up in the Rio Rancho Albuquerque area that had a big fire on Thursday afternoon, pulled his people together, pulled his kitchen cabinet together, which included a a realtor, a lawyer, and several others, and actually reopened for business on Monday.
Wow.
That's the kind of community we have here as well, is a community that will be there to help businesses navigate this last little stretch of it and then sustain it. I mean, we talk about getting through COVID, we talk about okay, we're through it. Well, that's not the end. We want our businesses to thrive, sustain it, be business, achieve business excellence. And then we want on the back side or the front side, get that education excellence in place where our children know that there'll be jobs waiting for them when they get out. So it's a community. The chamber is that heart of the community that connects the dots. And I think now we have all the dots so we can put them together. So I could go on and talk about small business. They are such a heartbeat, but I don't want to take away from the larger business that have employees that shop at our small businesses. And Mavita couldn't do their job if we didn't have our service industries to support that. So it takes a village, as I said, and it's community. That's what makes Las Cruces strong. You've heard me say that. That's what makes us strong.
Well, that's one of the things that has never ceases to amaze me, never ceases to surprise me, is how much as a community we do pull together here in Las Cruces. From the day that I moved here, it seems like that sense of community has always been a part of who we are here in Las Cruces. So, like I said, when times are tough, we're all going to pull together and we're going to help out. Whether it is a small business, a large business, or anything else like that, we're going to have our favorite places. We're going to go to do that. And one of the things that I used to keep in mind all the time is if I did get delivery or food or something else like that, am I going to go to a local place? Am I going to go to a national place or something else? But those choices are there. And you know what? We can help out and do our best to help everybody out, because that sense of community and that sense of that we have here in town is very, very good and very, very great here.
And I believe it got stronger during COVID.
I believe so.
But yeah. I believe it only got stronger during COVID because it was strong beforehand.
Exactly.
And it was the strong foundation. And that's what makes Las Cruces strong. And there are a lot of things you can use that phrase for. But we know that we're not all going to agree on the methodology on how to achieve a good community. But we all know that when the chips are down, we're going to do that. Like that little song I used to sing in Sunday school, when we all pull together. And it's looking beyond our differences and looking at our likenesses. And that basic word is be kind. I've thought a lot about, I've been in a lot of conversations about missions of organizations lately. And oh my goodness, people just want to just dump every word under the sink into that mission. And I'm reminded that it's not about the mission, it's about the impact. And when you talk about the impact we have on one life or 20,000 lives, that's what makes Las Cruces Las Cruces, is that it's a powerful impact that we want to make a difference. And we're not going to agree. The good Lord made us all different, but we all want a better community. So,
we may not all agree on all things, but there's always a lot that we have in common that we can agree on. And when you talk about that impact, the small little things that you do for your customers, the small little things you do for your distributors, if you're doing business and you have people that are bringing you, resources that are along that, the small little things that you do for other businesses that you're trying to help out with, which the chamber does. You never know how that one piece of advice or just that one little saying that you give to someone is going to help them out in their business and help them out in their life in general, how that goes. I'm a big believer that what you do, even if it is the smallest thing, will affect so many others in kind of like that butterfly effect. That one little thing can change everything immensely.
And I think we look for that affirmation that you're not going to know who you impact.
No, you don't.
In life, you don't know that. But it just takes a spark, and you light a fire for one person, that one person touches another person, and that's what makes community. I mean, when you see memorials where they have candles outside, or if you're in your house and you have one candle gives off a good flame, two candles, and then you just start multiplying. That's what community is all about. And yes, we have much more in common than we disagree on. But that's that's the power of, and I think that's the power of the chamber, bringing back down to our role in this. And I think our role in the mission of a chamber is to really be a champion for business excellence. How that is defined is we can listen to what businesses say, listen to their opinions, and we can design the programs, but we create great opportunities for people to network, to learn, to prosper, to sustain, and advocate. We advocate for them, obviously, at all legislative levels, but that's just, it's all the pieces that work together. And there's always, my mom used to say about a pecan pie, there's always a shell in it somewhere. And if you get it, just spit it out and move on. And that's what we need to do. We need to look beyond our differences and really look at that and really talk. I think we're missing that. This is kind of off small business, but I think theoretically, nationwide, we don't sit down and have the conversations like we need to around that good old fashioned kitchen table.
No, I think the idea of having those conversations is something that is there, and it does relate to small business, and it does relate to the way that we interact inside of the community. That we can have these conversations about from some of the little things to the big things, but just the idea of having that conversation is very, very important overall. To go ahead and for everybody to go ahead and move on and grow.
So I think we as the consumer, we expect every salesperson, every staff, and every businesses to be 100% every day. So when we go in and we may not get that level of customer service that we think we deserve, we immediately, oh my goodness, now we go to Facebook and we just blast it. Well, we don't know if that person that we were dealing with lost her home that morning or was facing a huge thing in her home. We don't know what goes behind closed doors. And sometimes thank you, have a nice day, the good old fashioned be kind.
Yeah.
Be kind. And it's reversed too. We as consumers demand good customer service. But I think our businesses and their employees really want the thank yous and the attaboys and attagirls and you did good. It may not be up to par, but just to have a person say, have a good day.
No, absolutely.
It goes for, it's a two-way street.
Absolutely. Having been on both sides of that, particularly in retail, having been on both sides as a customer and as the retailer, the salesperson, or anything else like that, I definitely can agree that it goes both ways. And those little bits of recognition, whether you're saying to a person like, hey, great job, thanks a lot for your help, or letting your customers know, that's a really good question, let me go ahead and work on that for you, or something else like that. But those little bits of recognition, once again, it's not a huge conversation, but it's a small conversation that you would have as an individual or a customer and an employee that will make a difference on everything else like that. But I think we have waxed philosophically.
I think we have waxed philosophically. Well, we have a few, just real quickly, we've got our junior leadership graduates will graduate officially next Wednesday on May 10th. Senior leadership has two more classes. They will graduate June 30th. Shout out and thanks to Memorial for sponsoring their graduation dinner on the 30th. And on May 25th here at Adams Radio Group, you all are going to host a huge ribbon cutting and stir and a great opportunity. Come by, no charge. You can meet and network lots of small businesses. And it's a very personal referrals is really good thing to do.
Yeah, I would invite every business owner to go ahead and come out for that event, because it's a great way to meet the people at the chamber, meet the other businesses, and to meet us in general. I think we're looking forward to showing off maybe just a little bit, what we do and some of the opportunities that we have. We'll see exactly how the entire event goes.
Well, years ago, I would say in radio, put the face with the voice, but now you're on Facebook and you're on social.
Well, Facebook, so, and then we're on video right here online and everything else like that. So it's one of those things where you do get a little bit more of a face for just that. And so I don't get it as often, like, oh, you don't look anything like you sound anymore. But every once in a while I'll still get that. But that stir event is coming up, and then of course we're less than a month away now as well from the golf tournament, right?
Golf tournament, June 2nd. We are still looking for sponsors. We have a few big ones left if you're interested. When I say big ones, about 2,500, which does include team and various there's various levels
Mhm.
of events going on, but we're looking for teams. You could sponsor a tent out on one of the holes. You could be a whole sign sponsor, have a sign out there, and it's going to be a great event. There's a lot of golf tournaments. Come do business with the chamber.
Absolutely. So once again, for any of that information, or to just if you have a few questions, what's the best way to go ahead and get a hold of someone at the chamber, Debbie?
You can give us a call. We have a live person most times, 575-524-1968.
And I'm sure if you left a message, somebody would get back to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thanks a lot for coming in, Debbie. I think we had a lot to talk about this week.
We did.
But I enjoyed it. And of course, we'll get back together again next week. And when we do another Greater Las Cruces Chamber of Commerce